Manipur violence issue will be taken up by the Supreme Court. A Supreme Court bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, is hearing the plea of the two women who were seen in the Manipur sexual violence video after they approached the apex court. Bench comprising Justice J.P. Pardiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra is hearing a fresh petition related to the viral video case. The Supreme Court will also hear the central government's plea to transfer the trial of the cases outside the state. Supreme Court has taken suo motu cognizance of the matter on July 20th. The court had asked the state government and sent it to take immediate steps in the matter and appraise it on what action that has been taken. Meanwhile, Manipur government has assumed the task of biometric capture of all illegal Myanmar immigrants in the state. This follows the Ministry of Home Affairs instructions to complete the campaign for biometric capture by September 2023. A lot of other things have happened. For example, huge rallies on weekend took place in Imphal. Huge rally took place in Aizawl. There was an all-party delegation which went to the Manipur. They met number of refugees. They met the governor. But before that, I would like to know from you. And you know, these are the on our screen you can watch. These are the people who had spoken. These are the people who had spoken. They are trying to say that the violence in Manipur must come to an end. That's what they are trying to say. Footballer Konsum skips international tournaments amid conflict. You have the case in Supreme Court. You have people who are expressing outrage. Meitei groups to stage a sit-in protest in Delhi on August 6. So it's not as if the things are coming to a calm. There is a new calm in, I would say, Manipur. You know, people have separated. They have gone the different ways. Opposition MPs are saying that the condition of relief and camps are pathetic. And let me tell you, our coverage of Manipur is based on facts. We don't run any unverified video. We do not run any unverified comments. We do not take any story which we have not verified. These are the stories which have been published in wires by our reporters or which have been covered by the proper agency. So biometric capture of Myanmar migrants begin. So Manipur has not remained a Manipur problem. Manipur has become a big problem. Manipur has become a problem of Northeast. Manipur has become an issue which is directly impacting the Parliament of India. You know, the Parliament is not functioning properly. And most important of all, you will have a no confidence motion in Parliament and the Manipur will be discussed. Ashok, tell me one thing. What happened in Supreme Court and what do you expect Supreme Court to do today?
See, Karthikeya, first of all, you'll have to understand that there are a bunch of petitions which are coming up for hearing today, raising various issues. Number one, issue relating to law and order, issue relating to relief and rehabilitation, issue relating to those two women who were paraded naked and sexually assaulted. Then there is another petition which is actually seeking protection for children and women specifically, and then there is also a whole range of issues on which the Supreme Court has taken so much.
Tell me one thing, Supreme Court karega kya? What will Supreme Court do? I really want to know, because the hope is on the court. What do you expect the court to do? A lot of people must be thinking, आज Supreme Court कुछ ऐसा करेगा, कर सकता है, कर दे, जिससे चीजें बदले. And I am using the common man's parlance. I know Supreme Court understand that there is a division of authority when it comes to governance. But in popular parlance से होता ना कि न्याय तो Supreme Court में मिलेगा. You remember no one shot Jessica Lal? Where did justice happen? Justice happened in the Supreme Court. Where did Sabrimala go? It went to the Supreme Court of India. Where is same-sex marriage being heard? It's in the Supreme Court of India. Positive legislations, Supreme Court of India. So people have this thing that Supreme Court kuch na kuch karega. Just lay it down for our viewers. Aaj kya baatein hongi? What will happen in context of Manipur in Supreme Court?
Well, Karthikeya, you're bang on when you point out that the people's hope lies with the Supreme Court of India. There is a perception that when any institution or every institution in the country fails, the Supreme Court will be with the people of the country, with the people of Manipur. Now that is the expectation. But the reality is, in the courts, the judges have to deal with cold facts, hard facts. The court does not have independent power or rather it does have, but it does not have an independent authority to send out people there and to try to figure out as to what's happening. The court, the Supreme Court judges are relying on the facts and figures which are given out by the Manipur government and the central government. Now, I'll tell you, a month back there was a hearing in the Supreme Court. The central government and Manipur government assured the Supreme Court of India that all steps are being taken to ensure that law and order situation in the state is restored. They even assured the Supreme Court that people, those who have been displaced from their villages, their homes which have been burnt, they will be rehabilitated. They again reinforced or reassured the Supreme Court that all efforts are being taken from on the part of the central government to deploy paramilitary forces, and there are some areas in which even the army has been deployed. So what do you expect the court to do in a point situation like this when they are being shown the fact that this is what we are doing? However,
Court can show the way.
all said and done, there are petitioners who have come to the court. Now there are cookies, there are meeties who are both parties in the Supreme Court of India. They have been arguing against each other, and in fact I'll tell you, Karthike, last time around the Supreme Court of India said that, look, please keep this allegation and counter allegation that you're making against each other outside the courtroom. What we want is that calm should be restored in the state first. Once calm is restored, then you can be got on the talking table, try to work out a formula. But at the moment, the big thing is that peace has to be restored in the state. This state has been, I will say, the whole fabric of the state has been torn in the last 70 days. It's not that as if it cannot be repaired, but it will take time. The fissures, the fault lines between the two communities are running so deep that there will be a serious effort, out of the box thinking on the part of the Manipur government as well as the central government to ensure that the state, peace and calm in the state is restored. Now, one last thing, that here again today what will happen in the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court will ask the Manipur government. The Manipur government is already filing a status report. The central government is filing a status report. They are saying that these are the steps that we are taking. So much we are doing. What can we do when situations are actually spiraling out of control? Now here, what the Supreme Court will do is that, okay, they'll say that, look, we'll prioritize a few things for you. That these are the things you have to do on priority basis.
Okay.
That protect the lives of children.
These are the visuals of the governor, in the relief camp, So, सबसे पहले Colonel साहब मैं आपके पास आऊँगा. The first question I have for you is, one thing is criminal justice system, which has kicked into action in the Supreme Court. They will look into the cases where the violence took place. But the another issue is of that of massive displacement of people. Are we witnessing something which happened long time back in Mizoram in post 68, 69, when the action was taken against then Lal Denga, when there was concerted attack on Aizawl and other places? Is there something like that happening? When Indian Army combed out the militants?
Yes, say again.
I'm saying that there's a massive displacement of population which is taking place. It's as if we don't learn from our history.
Yeah, the displacement of people have taken place, unfortunately. Now, this is not a natural, process of displacement on their own will or the thing. It's because of the fallout of the unfortunate violence that has taken place. And now, you can't equate it with what has happened in Mizoram or elsewhere. This unfortunately has happened, and it is I'm sure that it was avoidable if the peace process was continued, and then hopefully it will come back to the people will have to go back to their own places if possible, and if not, then what is the way ahead that we have to think of as far as the displacement is concerned.
That's a very interesting point of view. Mr. Tomming, your first comment on the biometrics which is taking place. A lot of things are all over the place right now. You have people in camps, you have matter in Supreme Court, you have no debate in Parliament. It seems that a clear pathway is absent.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. Uh, the the pathway how to achieve this, this is actually a very big concern and issue right now, because things have got stagnated, and in fact, since an idea of peace cannot be deliberated and discussed yet, and to comment on uh, any kind of a liability without coming up with a certain kind of an special investigation report, or maybe a CBI report. In fact, because everybody is traumatized right now, and like Lieutenant Colonel Manongba, which, and also the other aspect that you have discussed, people are now displaced, and they have been forced out of their land, out of their home. And we now know that when a person is displaced, uh, she ends up being very helpless. And this has an impact on how life has to be resumed. And without peace, you cannot resume, but then there is no pathway also, right, at the given juncture.